evening and welcome to Wednesday's Wisdom, where we practice the presence and we practice all the time because practice makes perfect. And what we're practicing is remembering who we are. We're practicing remembering that we are the spirit in action and that everything comes from within each one of us. So here at this center, we provide the spiritual tools for you to enhance your life, make it better, make it more fulfilling, living your life out loud in more ways than one. And that's why we're here, to give you those tools and to share those tools and to communicate with each other and to love each other. So I'm so happy you're here tonight. My name is Judy Chapman, and I'm the assistant minister here at the center. And this is our very wonderful and casual Wednesday night service. Our practitioner tonight is Rick Dale, and he is available after the service for about 15 minutes if you so choose to have a few moments with him, because what we know is that prayer works. I have people emailing me, texting me, calling me all the time. She says, oh, that prayer works all the time, every time, all the time. And it's because we believe and have faith that it does work, and that's why it works. So he is available after the service, and right now we're going to have a chant, and then he will come up and open our service with an affirmative prayer. So sit back and relax. Oh, and then he'll share a demonstration with us also.
Breathe. So let us come to that place where there is no yesterday and no tomorrow. It is only now. It is only here. And that is the center that is God. That power, that presence, that consciousness that was never born and can never die. It is here in every human being, in the very air we breathe. It is the existence of existence. It's the truth of the true. It's the love of love, the soul of soul, beyond and before, eternal, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-wise, all-good. And that is our power and our presence, because God has made each of us in its own image and likeness and given us the gift of life, of mind, and that power that goes with it, and the ability to choose how we wish to use that power. And our choice tonight is to place ourselves in that flow of the divine. Our choice tonight is to listen to the voice of God and know that God hears us always, and God delivers always. For there is nothing else but the almighty power that is God, and it is our power now. I give thanks for this, and I let it be. And we say together, and so it is. Demonstration. I went to work today knowing that I was short 2 people and had piles of stuff, and I had no idea I was going to get through it. Figured I wouldn't, but I prayed about it, and then I just went there and put myself in God's hands and just went like hell. And it worked. So there's my demonstration. Put yourself in God's hands, go like hell. Thank you.
And we have a special musical selection by Dave. beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you, Dave. We'll be hearing more from him in a moment. I wanted just to share a few things with you. As some of you know, I have a girlfriend that my friend that I've known for 43 years. We grew up together in Nevada City, and she's got a terminal disease and today's her birthday. And so I was talking to her today, and she knows it's her last birthday, and she says, I wish I could just tell everyone that don't sweat the small stuff. And you know, she said she's known this for 3 months now, so she's had some time to reflect. And she says that the person that you've had a disagreement with, call them up and solve that. The person you haven't talked to, or there's unforgiveness in your life, forgive them, let them know. She was just pouring her heart out and telling me all these different things, and if you want to do something, you get the urge to do something and fill your dreams, do it now, because now's all we have. This moment is the now, is the hour, the power where God is in this moment, not in the past, not in the future, but in this moment. So she just wanted me to know that, get everything clear and make your life smooth, make it beautiful, because we never know. And I wanted to share with you in my book, my 365 Days of the Science of Mind, on today's. It's a short one and it's a good one, so I wanted to share that with you. John 16:24 says, ask, and ye shall receive, that your joy may be full. Nothing in our thought about God should ever produce sadness or depression. Rather, it should do quite the reverse, because our faith in and love of God should give us the confidence and such a big sense of security that we should indeed be able to say, and I quote, "Joy to the world, the Lord has come." We must come to realize that God is not some far-off place, but instead that God is an inward, intimate presence, closer to us than our very breath. God is not, or nor never can be, separated from us, but often we separate ourselves from God. So now I affirm that there is nothing in me that can doubt this presence or limit the power of good in my life. There is nothing in me that can separate me from the love of God. And I accept the joy of living in the very midst of all of this. So that's who we are. We're spiritual beings. God lives within us, Spirit lives within us, and we are the beloved activity of this intelligence. That's who we are. That's why we have been placed, not by random, but we have been placed on this planet to fulfill that love of God and to express that love of God that is within us, with each other. This is how God connects with each other. We are all connected. We are all one. Truly all one. And that's our reading for tonight. And now, please welcome Dave Friedman. Can we talk?
can talk all right. Well, thanks for coming out. There are 3 things I've learned never to discuss with people: religion, politics, and the great pumpkin. Charles Schultz. Can we talk?
Yes.
Yes, we can. I borrowed that phrase from, there you go. And you know what she meant by that? What she really meant was, can we have a conversation about stuff that people generally are not willing to address? So tonight, we're going to go there. We're going to do just that. I'm invoking the spirit of Miss Rivers. We are going to talk. I've had these thoughts bouncing around for a while, and I appreciate you letting me stand up here and get them out of my head. So thanks. Now I'll have to fill it up with something else. I may touch on something that gets a little bit under somebody's skin. I don't really mean to, but that's okay. It just means that we've touched on a place that would like a little bit of attention. But remember the second agreement. Don't take it personal. Can we talk? Yeah, we can. We all know people who can go on for hours about anything, sometimes about nothing. But can we listen? Because if there's no listening, there's no conversation. And I know I didn't say, can we have a conversation? But can we talk implies conversation. And in a conversation, somebody talks and somebody listens. It's an exchange of ideas. Well, there's a concept. Mark Nepo says there's 7,000 ways to listen. Yeah, it's a little overwhelming, right? What he's referring to is that there are 7,000 languages on this planet. And I guess within a bit of time, about 2,000 of them are going to become extinct. So, due to the increasing commonality of the language and homogenization of the way we speak to each other on this planet, one might think it would be easier for people to communicate. But just because we understand the words doesn't mean we understand what's behind them. We still have to listen. We still have to listen not only with our ears, but also with our hearts. My work takes me in and out of people's homes all the time. And in the various conversations I've had, I've observed that many people generally don't want to share ideas. They want to give you their ideas. They know what they know, and they know what they want you to know, and then they tell you what they know you want you to know, and then they move on, you know? In my world, in Dave Land, I think it's a good idea to share ideas. You tell me your thoughts, I tell you mine. We ask questions, we see where it lines up, we see what's different, and imagine the understanding and the connections being made. And as you know, we are at our soul level connected. We are one. So we need to get our humanness in line with our spiritualness. Spiritualness? Is that a word?
It is now.
It is now. See? I've communicated. Can we talk?
Yes.
About what? Really? Seems that almost everything in today's overly PC world has become so charged there's almost nothing safe to talk about. They say we've never been as divided as we are today. Truth or perception? Don't matter. Because people's truth are their perception. People's perception is their truth. I've often been known to inquire into someone's opinion regarding thorny issues because I can, and I like to. And then I listen to what often becomes their diatribe monologue answer. Seldom do they ask for my opinion. They don't seem to be interested in another way of thinking. And if we're not open to another way of thinking, how will we ever understand the complete picture? People might be saying, oh, please don't challenge my beliefs. I know I haven't reasoned them out very well, and they're very deeply set. Questioning my worldview would be very troubling. Or maybe it's a lack of imagination. that causes folks to be unable to take in a slightly different viewpoint. Can we talk? Well, I have an idea. Let's talk about the Great Pumpkin. The Donald. I'm not one to shy away from any topic, and this one seems to be about the hottest one out there. But I don't really want to talk about Trump himself. And the room goes, whew. What I'd like to address are the feelings behind the subject and our seeming inability to have a discussion, a civil discussion about the man. People are very passionate in their opinions, and their passion runs very deep. Back in 2016, it seems like 2016 is one of those dates that's going to stick in our awareness for a while. I would ask Trump supporters for their opinions as to what makes him a good leader. And I would often get a face full of vitriol that quickly turned to either Hillary or Obama. And that's just blind shooting in the dark passion. It has nothing to do with any facts about the man or his leadership qualities. And really, I am looking for some good. Still. I was working in this one home the other day, and there was a seemingly sweet old ladies at a very proper wine and cheese luncheon. And I overheard them saying how they'd like to see him suffer and more. And I'm going, whoa, that's just not right. Agree with him or don't. Like him or not. Underneath the bluster, the stories, the apparent lies, the missteps, the drama, and everything that everyone either likes or don't like is, remember, a pure spirit having a human experience. And I like to believe that whether we agree with what he's doing or not, he's doing the best he can with the human brain-based information he has access to. So our part of it is to keep the conversation focused on the issues, on what can be done to remedy situations, and let's stop the trash talking, especially towards each other when the subject comes up. Back when this political adventure was getting started, I asked a friend of mine who himself was doing a fair amount of trash talking if he could please maybe just support his candidate without all the hating. So he posted that request up on his Facebook, and the hate just spewed forth. To cover for him, I went on and explained that I had asked him to do it and why I had done that, and then I was brutally, but thankfully only verbally attacked. Just for suggesting that we may want to please try not to be haters. Besides, how does hating help? What's to be gained? Does it make us feel more right? It seems that folks are so locked into whatever lens they see the world through that they're not really open to hear through to the real issue. One example was that Colin Kaepernick thing. Remember that? Kneeling for the flag. The outrage, the lashing out, the things being discussed, the new rules and regulations that the NFL put into place had nothing to do with his original intent. We really just weren't listening to what he had to say. Why do we inherently feel the need to hate? It's not innate. We don't come here with it. Nelson Mandela says, no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, his background, his religion. People learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Yeah, hate is a learned behavior. Does it have a purpose? Is it covering up a feeling of powerlessness, frustration, fear? Is it possible that man has such a lack of confidence in his own faith, in his own view, that he has to feel the need to destroy somebody others in case theirs is more potent? It's really easy to take a walk on the dark side. I know that we are basically kind and compassionate. For example, what do we do when somebody falls down? or during times of struggle, strife, all these shootings going on, fires, what do? We rush out to help. That is the truth about us. So here's an interesting little 3-part reflection about hate. First, if you hate a person, says Herman Hesse, you hate something in him that is part of yourself. What isn't part of us doesn't disturb us. Secondly, take it the next step. Carl Jung suggests that everything that irritates about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. And then Ernest Holmes wraps it up and reminds us of our control. Life is a mirror, and we reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. So we can actually control what it is that we observe. I see at least 2 truths here. First one is the one that's personal to the heart and the mind that started this issue. This is known to the people that were passionate enough to bring it forth. The kneeling for the national anthem, the voices for gun control, gay marriage, abortion, some of these emotionally charged issues that come immediately to mind that continue not to have a satisfying resolution. These and other concerns start to spread like waves on a pond, but they get interrupted along the way by the sticks and stones of others' interpretations of these words. And when the waves meet the shoreline, they look nothing like the original idea. And then there is the truth. We are one. We are peace. There is no separation. What happens to you happens to me. Love and compassion. This can't be changed. So in our desire to be light, love, compassion, peace, let's be aware that the aggravations that show up as other people and that may be so bold as to point out a low spot in our own self-esteem, that are actually blessings that we can use to grow ourselves. Can we talk? Oh, yeah. You see, we've talked about politics. We talked about the great pumpkin. What's left? Religion. Thank you for paying attention. Ready? When someone starts talking to you about religion, and if their view is diametrically opposed to yours, what goes on inside? Come on, be truthful now.
Wall goes up.
Right? How does it make you feel? Can you identify your reaction? I like that. The wall goes up, regardless of how subtle it may be. Do you try to tell them, gently of course, that they're wrong? Do you judge them?
No.
Maybe just a little? This is where I get face to face with practicing non-judgment and acceptance. I'll admit to it. I ask questions. I want to see if I can understand better where they're coming from. If we are comfortable in our own skin with our own beliefs, we don't need to change anybody else's mind. Lao Tzu, those who speak don't know. Those who speak don't know. That's the second half of the first half. It was exactly the same. Those who do not know speak. Those who do not speak know. Let me try that again. Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. There you go. Embracing that mindset will allow us to listen more deeply to what others have to say, hopefully in a less judgmental way. Just the other day, I was involved in a conversation with a buddy. He's this, if it's in the Bible, then it's the truth kind of guy. And I realized he wasn't completely clear as we got farther into the conversation. He wasn't completely clear as to why he held these beliefs. It's just what he's been taught, and he learned it, and it's the way he grew up. So he was just spouting those facts and beliefs. So as I was asking him questions, he was able to clarify his belief in his own mind and felt a lot stronger and more confident about it. So I share this with you to show that we may actually be doing folks a favor by helping them get more solid on their position. And how this type of conversation, again, can generate more compassion and more understanding. We see the world through our perceptions. But is that the whole picture? Opening our minds to others' perceptions could give us a more complete and comprehensive view of the world. I feel very blessed to be participating in this philosophy, one that not only accepts all beliefs, but incorporates a little taste of every one of those in its core. As Deepak reminds us, beliefs divide, values unite. And when we go to the values that underlie so many religious beliefs, they unite us. I say, beliefs are personal. Values are universal. What might be some pertinent universal values here? Yep.
Kindness,
Yep. All of these.
kindness,
Talking animals, that's a value.
laughter.
Yes. Compassion, understanding, they're all here. Can we talk? How can we change the world? Or at least begin to. We can open our minds and our hearts to a discussion rather than an argument. What's the difference, you may ask? In the business of living, Frank Kane put it this way: in discussion, you're searching for the truth. In an argument, you just want to be right. In a discussion, you're anxious to know your neighbor's view and you listen to them. In an argument, you don't care anything about his opinion. You just want him to hear yours. And as we know, engaging someone in a heated discussion does nothing more than causes both sides to dig in their heels and makes it impossible for any real connecting to occur. We can't even effectively discuss or argue things that we don't even have the respect to try and understand. Stephen Covey says most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. We are not most people. When listening to others, what are we telling ourselves about what we're hearing? Before responding, take a second and listen to what you're about to say. Does it resound as true within your being? How might it sound? And is this something you really want to put out there? Remember, we don't need to convert or convince. We need to converse. And when we give our opinions, do it in the first person. Talk only of your experience. A couple of weeks ago, I found my personal weather pattern not as sunny as I'd like it to be. I was in a bit of a cloudy space. I shared something with a friend, and almost immediately it didn't sit right with me. And I was reminded of that acronym, THINK. T, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? And K, is it kind? So about my statement, was it true? From my point of view, maybe. Was it helpful, inspiring, necessary, or kind? Not at all. Of course, that was after the fact, and I realized what I said failed this test miserably. I've since forgiven myself. But now I get to deal with what caused me to want to say it in the first place. What may help is if you picture what you're about to say as shooting an arrow. Once you've shot it, you can't take it back. So before the thought gets shot, think. As we do our work to be more in touch with our thoughts, keep checking in. Keep checking in. How do your thoughts make you feel? Are they true for you and in the highest sense of the word? What if you said them out loud to somebody else? Are they helpful, hurtful, pointed all in the right direction? You might not want to say it. I made up an acronym to help anchor the bonding and understanding that we gain by the exchange of ideas, to help make them last by using the word last. Listen, accept, share, trust. Listen with open ears and open heart. Try and hear through the words to the truth of the person speaking. Listen openly and without waiting for your next opportunity to speak. Be in this exact moment to what is being said. I often forget what I want to say due to listening intently. I guess it wasn't really that important. And if you have questions, ask. It shows the person that you're listening. Accept what they say as their thoughts, their opinions, their viewpoint, their way of seeing the world. No need for judgment here. Simply accept that what they say is what they feel is the truth for them at this time. Share your thoughts, your viewpoints, your opinions, and stay on the subject matter in front of you. Don't try and convince or coerce. Just communicate, converse. Speak simply, without energy, without attacking, and again, without judging. Speak in the first person. Share your thoughts, and then trust. Trust in the knowing that whatever the subject matter, universal truth behind it is all good. It's all God. Trust that what we see, what we think, what we hear is our interpretation of their thoughts. So in this moment, that means there's two versions of the human experience, and they may or may not line up. But at some level, and it may be way down in there somewhere, is truth with a capital T. And if you can't find the truth in the present moment, know that everything is working out exactly the way it's supposed to. It is. It will. And rest easy in the peace, faith, and trust in that knowing. Can we talk?
Yes.
I challenge us to work towards understanding others' convictions. Honor where positions differ. Stand together on a common ground. Stay focused on the issues and respect the person you're talking to. I believe that during these open and honest conversations, seeds of understanding are planted on both sides. And don't worry if they don't seem to take right away. Have you ever seen little plants growing out of the cracks in sidewalks? A very unlikely place, isn't it? The seed fell and it just got kicked around, and something grew. Against all odds, it grew. In this way, our ideas could start to grow together into a beautiful forest of peace, love, and understanding. It's a little corny, huh? I'm okay with that. So can we talk?
Yes.
Please do. Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. All right, I have a question. Last, listen, and A was ask or accept. You said both.
Accept.
Accept, okay. So listen, accept, share, and trust. Very good. I had never heard of the one for think, to think about it, and is it helpful, inspiring, necessary, or kind. And boy, those were wonderful. What I heard was have an open mind, stop judging, be non-judgmental, and listen with your spiritual ears. Let's give him another hand. Super good information. Loved it. It's time for our offering. Cheryl, you want to bring up the baskets for me, please? Truthful, helpful, inspiring, necessary, kind. Got it. I'll have to write that one down too. So as we take our gift in our hand, we feel that energy of love. We feel that energy of giving and receiving, of openness, of being inclusive, and we're grateful. We're grateful for this time together. We're grateful for this beautiful sanctuary. We're so grateful for the Science of Mind teaching, this philosophy that lifts us up, carries us through the difficult times, shows the way to a better life. We're grateful. So please say our affirmation with me. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and it symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.